Hi, welcome to RCSP, Florida. I went out to J.B. Starkey Wilderness Park the other day to try and photograph some birds. Well, somebody forgot to tell the birds to be there because I walked over 5 miles and saw about a dozen birds all day. So if the birds don't cooperate, what do you do? Like I have said before, you shoot what you've got. It is a lovely park and there are many other things to shoot. I enjoy many kinds of photography, so I just go into another mode. You can shoot landscapes, macro, textures, flowers, trees, insects, and weird stuff you might sometimes find in the woods. So let me show you what I photographed when the birds played hooky that day and were not there. I always enjoy showing everyone what there is to see in Florida. We have some beautiful things that Florida is known for. Things like huge old live oak trees that stretch their arms out to the horizon. As you can see, this live oak tree has limbs that defy gravity and stretch out so far that they will sometimes touch the ground, as this one has. These huge old trees are beautiful and provide lots of shade on a hot, sunny Florida summer day. There are lots of these old trees in J.B. Starkey Wilderness Park. Here are a few more I was able to photograph. They are so huge that it is very hard to get the entire tree in the shot without lots of other trees and other bushes in the photograph. I managed to get this one in the photo without a lot of other bushes and trees. These trees can be over 100 feet wide and 60 or more feet tall. They are just magnificent. Several of these photographs were taken in the same location, but are still totally different. You can sometimes get several shots from different angles and show something different in each shot, like I did with some of these previous shots. Another plant you see lots of in Florida is the palmetto. They are both beautiful and annoying at the same time. Beautiful to view, but impossible to walk through since they are very thick, as you can see. The stems have barbs on them that will cut you to shreds if you have shorts on. You have to go around them to get to the other side. You can sometimes force your way through them if you try, but they are also home to the diamondback rattlesnake, so I wouldn't try to go through them without chaps and knee-high snake boots. But when the sun hits them just right, they are beautiful. Unfortunately, there are not many flowers blooming this time of year, so I was able to find only a few. These yellow flowers were blooming along the shoreline of one of the lakes in the park. I had to get off the path and travel through the woods to get to them, but I enjoy getting off the beaten path anytime I can. This is a netted pawpaw flower as best I can tell. Correct me if you don't agree. I spent over an hour trying to find out what this flower was, and that was what I came up with. It was very windy, so I had to be very patient and wait for the wind to stop blowing and moving the flowers before I could take many of these pictures. Here is a video of this flower, and you can see how much the wind is moving it. Even then, I had to raise the ISO to keep the shutter speed up because the flowers never totally stopped moving. There are a lot of swamps in J.B. Starkey as well as hardwood forest. Another tree Florida is known for is the bald cypress trees that are found in swampy areas. In this shot, I thought the new small bright green baby cypress tree stood out against the backdrop of the older grayer-looking winter trees that were just beginning to sprout now that spring is here. In this next vertical shot, the dark green magnolia tree stands out against all the other trees surrounding it. Here we have young pine saplings that are bright green with new spring foliage. In the sun, they just lit up like a Christmas tree, but unfortunately it doesn't translate that well in this picture. In the opening when I talked about what you could shoot, I mentioned textures. Here are two examples of what I mean, but there are thousands of other items you can shoot, like sand patterns on the beach, seashells, and basically anything that has a texture or pattern to it. I had oak and cypress tree bark in these two photos. In this photo of a seed pod, you can see the power of a 61 megapixel camera. The ability to zoom in or crop your image is far better than lower megapixel cameras. I used the Sony a7R4 for all of these images. I couldn't get any closer to the seed pod with my 24mm to 105mm f4 lens, so I needed to crop, or in this case, zoom in to see the details of these seeds. This shot of a rotting old tree trunk worked as a portrait image, but not as a landscape image because of the clutter around it. This small fern was hiding in the bushes but caught my eye because of its bright color. And finally, I mentioned anomalies that are sometimes found in the forest. This is one example. At J.B. Starkey Wilderness Park, there are lots of these on the pine trees. That is the only species of tree I saw these on. I do not know what they are called, but it is a growth that occurs on the pine, and they can be small like this one on this small pine tree, but there are some as big as a football on the larger trees. I'm hoping to find out what it is, so the search continues. I spend hours searching the internet to answer some of these questions, but it is sometimes difficult to find the answers. If you know what this group is called, let me know in the comments. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video on what to shoot when there are no birds. I think you'll find it can be just as much fun as bird photography. After walking over 5 miles and being in the park for over 5 hours, I had a great time. Try it yourself and I think you'll agree. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please share it with your friends. I would appreciate that. If you want to see more of my videos, please hit the subscribe button in the lower left corner of your screen. I would also appreciate that. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified when I post a new video. Thanks for watching and get out there and shoot. You can improve your photography sitting on your couch. Stay safe.